Lyndon Rush played and loved a lot of sports growing up in Humboldt. The sport that would make him a two-time Olympian and an Olympic medalist was not one of them. While Rush excelled at team sports like football, hockey, and rugby, he was also busy racing dirt bikes and snowmobiles as part of an active childhood in the tight-knit community.
I was really into team sport, and I was really into, being faster, stronger, all those things that you need to be better at sports. All that stuff added up to me really loving sport and having a great base of sports. And all those bases sports that I was learning growing up in Humboldt, I didn't know it at the time, but they were training me to be a bobsledder.
Rush won 2 provincial high school football titles in Humboldt. From there, he joined the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. He was named a Canada West All-Star in 2003 as a defensive end and played in a pair of Vanier Cups. Rush was completing his degree and looking at opportunities to play professional football when Huskies head coach Brian Towers passed Rush's number on to a recruiter from Bobsleigh Canada Skeleton.
I came home from class one day and there was a message on my answering machine. And I at first I thought it was a prank. I thought one of the guys was saying, he used to do that kind of thing, right? Leave a message on the answer machine. Well, yeah, right. Bobsleigh recruiter. So I didn't call him back right away. I went to BT's office the next day and I asked him if he gave my name to a bobsleigh recruiter, and he said he did. So then I called him back.
Being a bobsledder had never been on his radar growing up, but the idea of a physical team sport that also involved racing piqued his interest immediately.
And in my first run, I was like, this is for me. I got down to the bottom and I was like so excited. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. I want to do it no matter what. If I have to pay, I'll do it. As soon as I drove a bobsleigh down, I was hook, line, and sinker.
A hamstring injury limited him during that first camp, but that turned out to be a blessing in disguise. While most drivers put in years as brakemen pushing the sled down the hill before getting to pilot a sled down the hill, Rush was an exception and enrolled in driving school immediately. From his start in the sport in 2004, Rush's goal was to be one of the pilots on the Canadian team for the 2010 Vancouver Winter Olympics. When those games arrived, hopes were high for Rush and Lascelles Brown on their home course in the two-man bobsleigh. Those hopes were dashed in a crash on their second run.
We were favorites in two-man and sort of outside shot in four-man. And I really blew it in the two-man. I should have won a medal in two-man. And it's part of the, one mistake, boom, crashed, it's over.
That sudden turn of events was hard for the team to take. Back at the Athletes' Village, they had an emotional meeting as they tried to regroup before the four-man event that closed the games. As the leader of the team, Rush turned to his spiritual side. He asked his teammates to speak about the joy they had in their lives, even in this tough moment. As they spoke about what they were thankful for in their lives, the team was able to find perspective and forged an even stronger bond.
We were a really tight team to begin with, but sitting in that room that night when talking about stuff we we were bawling. A bunch of big bobsledders. We were crying, comforting each other because we were all devastated, and it just was we came out stronger and had a really great race in the four-man. We raced without any pressure and just performed better than we probably were on paper.
Rush's Canada team of Lascelles Brown, David Bissett, and Chris Labayan were seated 7th and not considered a strong medal threat in the marquee four-man event.
I don't know that we would have won a four-man medal without the crash in the two-man. Looking back on it, I think we were better in four-man because of that crash in the two-man.
Rush's Canada team put together 3 strong runs to sit in second place. In the final run, they were edged for silver by 4-time Olympic champion Andre Longa's German crew by 1/100th of a second. Rush would have loved to have held off one of his racing idols, but his crew was elated with their stunning bronze medal performance. Rush continued to compete on the World Tour and continued to improve as he did so. During the 2012-13 season, Rush won the World Cup Tour's overall two-man bobsleigh title with Brown and Jesse Lumsden splitting time as his brakeman. Rush competed again at the Sochi Olympics in 2014 before retiring. He continues to be heavily involved in bobsleigh, giving back to the sport as a coach. He helped Justin Cripps and Alex Kopacz to a gold medal win in the two-man bobsleigh at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics and was part of the coaching staff in 2022 at the Beijing Winter Games. Installed in the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame on September 24, 2022, Lyndon Rush.